The 99th quiet treatment. For the first time ever, my girlfriend truly talked to me, not because she missed me, but since she was going on a month-long business trip with her guy toy and decided she should give me a heads up. But this time, I didn't have the strength to disagree with her. I just made breakfast and watched her leave. She looked at me like I was some defenseless cat. "Benja, you're being so good today. How about this? When I return back, I'll say yes to your proposition good." But what she didn't grasp was that folks who are sincerely motivated to leave don't scream and fight. A month later, she came home from her trip and found the apartment absolutely empty. That's when she finally panicked. Chapter 1. You don't have to make breakfast for me today. I'm in a rush. While I was cooking, my girlfriend Luciana unexpectedly stepped up beside me and put her head lightly on my shoulder. The lovely aroma of her hair flowed into my nostrils. I frowned slightly, but the sentiments that used to arouse in me weren't there anymore. Funny thing is, I should have been thrilled. This was the first time she'd ever made the first step to break our Cold War. But before I could say anything, she spoke first. Her tone wasn't asking. It was informing. "I'm going on a business trip later. I won't be back for a month." She hesitated, her eyes flickering like there was more she wanted to say. I kept my focus on the bacon in the pan, considering whether to slice it in half. Got it." She looked astonished by my remark. After a long moment, she eventually spoke again. "Bruno's coming with me." I ended up cutting the bacon right down the center. The blade hit the cutting board, and the anxiety in my chest finally dropped with it. What a joke. I wanted to slap myself. I still had hope. Makes sense. He's your assistant. He should go. When did it all start? Out of our numerous Cold Wars, 9 out of 10 were because of Bruno. Bruno was Luciana's assistant, a young college graduate, lively, filled with enthusiasm, and understood how to sweet-talk her till she lost her sense of direction. Honestly, the guy was useless at his job, but Luciana stated he was youthful, ambitious, joyful, generous, and because of that, she took particular care of him. Too much concern. She crossed boundaries. It made me insanely jealous. This chilly fight started because I had been working overtime and suddenly felt severe, stifling anguish. Cold sweat rushed over my face. I couldn't even sit straight and slumped on the floor. At that particular moment, Luciana went by me, completely disregarding me, just to take Bruno out to some trendy restaurant she'd seen online. Maybe that's when it began. When my heart stopped behaving like it used to, my feelings had become stable, just like now. Her brief demonstration of tenderness was nothing but a one-sided update, and within, I felt nothing. Luciana appeared surprised that I didn't pick a fight when she mentioned Bruno today. In the past, I didn't even need to see them together. Just hearing his name from her tongue was enough to fuel my jealousy. She stood on tiptoe and delicately kissed my cheek, then grinned and said, "Benja, don't worry. After this journey, Bruno should be able to handle things on his own. I'll make sure he gets more autonomous from now on. That way, I'll have more time for you." I hadn't planned on making breakfast for Luciana today. Just one serving in one pan. Less dishes to clean. She sat across from me watching me eat. Afterwards, she even offered to do the dishes. She'd never touched them before, and I'd always let her off the hook. Dish soap is rough on the hands. It's fine for a girl to take care of herself. But this time, I didn't say anything. Just watched her tie on the apron. She seemed to notice something and turned to smile at me. "What, thinking the kitchen's not such an awful spot? We can do things in here too. Just wait till I get back from the trip." She grinned so brightly, as if we had never argued before. Her tempting comments seemed like sweet nothings whispered between a loving spouse, but all I could think was, what does that even imply? Forget it. It has nothing to do with me anymore. I understood exactly what this was, just Luciana's guilty attempt to make up for her own guilt. Before she could even start doing the dishes, the doorbell rang. Luciana promptly left the kitchen and walked for the front entrance. As soon as it opened, her voice brightened up with delight. "Bruno, why are you here so early?" I sneered inwardly. The second the bell sounded, she dashed out of the kitchen, passing right by me, to answer the door. Wasn't she just waiting for Bruno to show up and take her up? Bruno stood there at the entryway, looking a bit uneasy, as he stated, "Luciana, I come to take you out for breakfast. Airport food's costly and awful. I know a pretty fantastic spot on the way." He halted, his attention settling on Luciana's apron, then at me leaning on the dining table. "Oh, hey, Benjamin, bro, you're here too. Was Luciana doing the dishes? Let me help. Girls should take care of their hands appropriately." He was young, full of enthusiasm, almost emitting hormones like some naive college lad in love. Luciana naturally was utterly smitten, grinning so wide her cheeks could scarcely keep up. She probably hadn't even noticed it herself, but the way she looked at Bruno, it wasn't the expression of a manager enjoying her staff. She loosened her apron, laid it down on the shoe cabinet at the door, and grabbed for her suitcase. "It's okay. Benja will wash them. Can't have you doing it." I remained silent, just smiling faintly as I watched them. I didn't move 1 inch. Bruno seemed puzzled, searching me from head to toe. "Did you cook breakfast for Luciana?" "Benjamin, maybe. I came too early." He sounded careful, like he was treading on eggshells. Disappointment was written all over his face. Luciana instantly replied, "No, that was for him. I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for you." Huh. Bruno's eyes brightened up. Then shyly he added, "But that was Benjamin's plate." Luciana changed her shoes and positioned her suitcase in front of Bruno. Then she finally turned to look at me. "I'm heading out. You've been such a good boy today, Benja. When I get back, let's go register our marriage. Okay." She blew me a kiss and slammed the door behind her. I got a cigarette from my pocket, lighted it, and walked back into the kitchen to wash the dishes. Luciana and I had been together for 10 years. From college until now. During that period, I had proposed to her several times. No matter how meticulously I arranged the setting, despite how heartfelt my statements were, she always said she wasn't ready, that she didn't want to get married yet, or she just ignored me, or bluntly rejected me. And now, just to stop me from disagreeing with her over Bruno, she was willing to fling up a phony promise of marriage to pacify me. I shook my head and whispered to myself, "Not okay. Not even close to okay." A sour smile flashed across my lips. I wouldn't propose to her again. That would undoubtedly be a relief for her. There wouldn't be any more fights either. After cleaning up the kitchen, I sat on the couch and glanced at the message on my phone, my thoughts racing wild. "Have you decided on transferring jobs yet?" On one hand, there was the aircraft ticket I'd booked 2 weeks earlier. On the other, a message from a large company's HR. Countless memories rushed through my mind, then paused on the image of Luciana and Bruno together. Should I cancel the flight? Should I quit? In the end, I replied to the message, packed my stuff. I walked out of the flat I had shared with Luciana for 7 years, without looking back. Chapter 2. I stayed in the capital for Luciana. She and I were worlds apart. She was a rich heiress, while I was just an ordinary person attempting to survive in the city. To stand beside her, I worked day and night, doing endless overtime to the point I nearly dropped dead at my desk. I recall the moment perfectly. I couldn't even hold myself up on the chair. I collapsed hard on the floor. Everyone in the office rushed over, even the colleagues from the opposition team I never got along with. No one stood by idly. Some ordered the crowd to give space. Someone called 120 others laid me flat on the floor, wondering whether I was conscious. Only Luciana walked briskly past me, keys in hand, grinning with joy. After being rescued and stabilized at the hospital, the first person I saw was the other team's lead, and several of my teammates scurrying around paying the bills and dealing with doctors. When I finally got my phone back, the first thing I wanted to do was text Luciana. But what I noticed instead was a social media post from Bruno. A full 9-square montage of photos, him in the passenger seat, throwing a love sign, Luciana in the driver's seat, smiling ear to ear. Every photo was a couple-style selfie. Caption, "Late-night desires after work." Boss led me to a popular hotspot. "Foodie life is amazing. My boss is the best in the world." Lying on the hospital bed, I felt like I'd been dunked in icy water. My whole body trembled. I messaged Luciana asking where she was. She didn't reply until 11 p.m. She informed me she was entertaining clients over dinner earlier, and now she was at KTV. Told me not to nag her, told me to stop checking up on her for no reason, that she already had to waste her precious time dealing with my paranoia. Said if a client saw my communications, it'd be embarrassing. I was dismissed a week later. That night, we had a tremendous fight. Mostly me doing the talking, venting everything I had bottled inside. She hadn't even realized I'd been in the hospital for a week. In the end, she merely said one statement: You still have the energy to dispute with me, so plainly you're all right." At that moment, I knew no amount of words meant anything anymore. Our 10 years together meant nothing anymore. From that day on, we plunged into a cold war. She disregarded me entirely, like we were strangers. She stopped eating the breakfast I made, stopped sleeping in the same room, stopped speaking to me. This was her normal technique. 10 years of love. Suddenly, we were nothing more than two roommates, not even acquaintances. The business trip with Bruno wasn't even the final straw. Truth is, our relationship ended the instant she spoke. "You're still alive, aren't you? 10 years of love, over just like that." I packed my stuff and traveled alone to the office to formally resign, but I didn't expect to run across Luciana and Bruno, the two people who were meant to be at the airport. By the printer, Bruno was clutching to Luciana's arm, playfully being flirty. "Sorry, Luciana, it's all my fault." I was so thrilled about our breakfast plans, I barely slept and absolutely forgot to print the contract. "Delayed you again." Luciana let him cling to her left arm and with her right hand gently pinched his cheek. Her tone was gentle. "It's fine, it's a small thing." Am I the kind of cold, cruel boss who'd make a fuss over it? As she spoke, her eyes moved toward the door and caught sight of me standing there. Her smile froze for just a moment. Then she looked at her watch, frowned, and remarked with irritation, "Benjamin, you're just getting here. It's already an hour beyond clock in." According to corporate policy, being over an hour late is considered skipping work. You're too casual with your responsibilities. No wonder the other employees talk about you as they do, even though I had already given up on this relationship. Hearing Luciana talk to me like that still sparked a fire in my chest. At work, she was always renowned for being decisive and stern. She handled all staff harshly, but with me, she was exceptionally nasty. I once recommended going public with our relationship, but she shot it down, said office romance didn't look good, that as the boss, she had to set an example. And so, in the view of our coworkers, her hostility toward me only looked like genuine hatred. Naturally, several coworkers trying to court favor with her made life worse for me. When I informed Luciana about it, she merely scoffed. Instead of exhibiting concern, she advised me to self-reflect. Maybe I wasn't friendly enough to my coworkers. Maybe I just didn't have the abilities or the results to win folks over. In her perspective, all my grievances were merely excuses. Later on, she even issued a message on the business group chat encouraging everyone to talk and behave professionally and maintain a positive working environment. That message didn't improve things. In fact, it made the way people looked at me extra odd. Back then, I was truly touched. I believed she was standing up for me, that the reason she was so hard on me was because I was special to her. Looking back now, wasn't that merely emotional manipulation? She isolated me from my colleagues and then tossed me a smile, so I'd stay loyal like a puppy with nowhere else to go. I took a deep breath and pulled out the resignation letter I'd drafted long ago, handed it to Luciana. "I'm resigning, Luciana." Luciana froze, a bewildered expression on her face. Bruno swiftly chimed in from alongside her. "Luciana, it's probably because Benjamin's worried about you. Wasn't he already jealous last time just because you took me to that trendy restaurant?" He glanced at me with a gleam of provocation in his eyes, lips curled upward in a slow smirk, like he was claiming his domain. "Benjamin, seriously, the vacation with Luciana is entirely business. That restaurant last time, a client liked it, so we had to go to keep them pleased." Hearing that, Luciana's expression turned ice cold, her tone impatient. "Benjamin, stop wasting my time with this foolishness. We just talked this morning. I'm going on a month-long trip, and once I'm back, I stated I'd accept your proposal. You're not a kid anymore. Can you quit acting like one of those romance novel protagonists playing hard to get instead of doing antics like this? How about focusing on your performance?" I just gazed at her calmly, thinking to myself, honestly, I didn't need to hand her the resignation letter directly. She just happened to be there in front of me, so I handed it over. Looks like I still have to go via HR. After all, I'm just an ordinary employee. No need to go above protocol, only to acquire the boss's signature. Bruno's eyes flew around as he tugged at Luciana's sleeve and muttered, "Luciana, I think I got it now. Didn't Benjamin ask for a raise 3 months ago? Maybe this is about that." Then he turned to me. "Benjamin, I'll talk to Luciana for you, okay? Next time for sure. Only don't threaten her with stuff like this. She's already under a lot of pressure. With only a few lines, Bruno pinned the blame on me and managed to sweet-talk Luciana into a good mood. Suddenly, I felt disoriented. It hit me. I hadn't talked to Luciana like this in what felt like years. That was probably when it all started. When my heart gave up and I didn't even notice. Luciana's tightly knit brows gradually loosened as she snapped. So this whole thing this morning was about a raise. Fine, when I get back, I'll give you a raise. Happy now? The two of them were fully in sync, like a well-rehearsed performance. With my abilities after so many years at this company, I should have been promoted long ago. Forget team lead. I could have become a project manager, even chief of a department. But what did Luciana say? She said we needed to give optimism to new staff, that they needed to see progress and opportunities, that we couldn't crush the spirits of the younger personnel. So of course I was excluded. All those years, and I was still just a regular employee. Realizing all of this, I couldn't help but giggle at how foolish I'd been. Seeing that I didn't react, Luciana handed the document to Bruno and gave my resignation letter, still held midair, a brief glance full of hatred. Put that away. Don't bother me with this garbage. Besides the raise, I'll promote you too. Is that enough? I'll tell HR today doesn't qualify as an absence. Go back to your desk and begin to work. With that, she left the office with Bruno. I stood there in situ, staring down at the resignation paper in my hand. I couldn't help but shake my head. Then I turned and walked straight to the HR department. I handed in the letter, and it was soon approved. After all, in their sight, I was merely a senior employee with nothing exceptional about me. Someone my age, give it another couple years, and the company would have found some excuse to lay me off regardless. Once I made peace with it, I packed up my belongings fast and began my journey back home. Chapter 3. 3 days after returning to my hometown, I acquired a job at a small e-commerce warehouse. The salary wasn't fantastic, but it was easy. As a seasoned coder, this kind of assignment was almost absurdly trivial for me. Life at home was more slower-paced, and workdays were easygoing. On weekends, I had time to take long walks or go for a run. Sometimes I'd even make time for fishing, setting out at 4 or 5 in the morning and spending the whole day beside the water with fellow anglers. Every now and then, I'd check social media. Bruno posted constantly. His feed was basically one-man spam. Photos of him and Luciana eating, drinking, playing, sightseeing at renowned tourists. Locations. It didn't look like a business trip. It looked like a honeymoon. Anyone who didn't know them would have guessed they were newlyweds. In every photo, Luciana looked genuinely happy. Nothing about them suggested a boss-subordinate connection. Her smile never left her face. She posed perfectly with Bruno, even making coordinated heart-shaped poses across 9 square photo grids, multiple sets of them, not to mention the short-form dance challenge vids. In one comment, Bruno even wrote, "Too many people at these trendy spots. If it weren't for my stunning, sweet, and excellent boss, I wouldn't bother squeezing past people. Next time, let's have a road trip across the grasslands." Luciana answered underneath, "Sure, next time I'll take you to the grasslands. Horseback riding, lamb, barbecue, the works." I chuckled coldly to myself. The kind of tiresome travel Bruno was appearing to dislike had previously been my dream. All these years, Luciana and I had never once gone on a holiday together, never even taken a casual trip like a normal couple. She always said she despised traveling, and that I was too frivolous, constantly thinking about fun instead than ambition. But today, the same Luciana who claimed to loathe travel was going around with Bruno enjoying every moment. She never hated traveling. She just didn't want to do it with me. In the comments, I saw numerous familiar coworkers joking about whether wedding bells were in the corner for them. Some others made veiled, sarcastic remarks, all focused at me. Where's Benjamin now? Why isn't he here to impart some passive-aggressive wisdom? In the whole company, only Bruno had known about my relationship with Luciana. Back then, whenever I noticed coworkers whispering about Bruno and Luciana, I'd always tell them to stop. Even when Bruno shared images with her, I'd rush into the comments with bitter sarcasm. Over time, everyone saw me as a bitter, twisted, single old man, jealous, angry at the world, unable of finding a girlfriend. Thus, he brought others down instead. Luciana even picked a fight with me once about this, instructing me to stop being sarcastic under Bruno's posts. Looking back now, I was honestly just stupid and blind. Bruno's every post was aimed to show off to provoke me. But without Luciana's permission and indulgence, he wouldn't have dared be that audacious. So shameless. At some point, Luciana began letting Bruno walk into every part of her existence, and my 10 years with her were nothing more than a badly written drama that had finally come to its miserable conclusion. In the days that followed, I continued seeing Bruno and Luciana sharing gorgeous settings, excellent meals, and continuous couple-style updates like they were freshly in love. And gradually my heart grew still, no longer reacting. One day, I dragged in an 18-pound whitefish from the water. The nearby anglers looked over with admiration. It wasn't the largest catch, but at least it wasn't a wasted expedition. I instinctively shot a photo, but I didn't access Luciana's chat right away. Instead, I shared it to my feed, titled, "How did you guys know I just caught an 18-pound whitefish?" Over the past 3 days, I'd made quite a few fishing buddies. Might as well show off a little, let them see what I could do. Who claims fishermen never catch anything? I slid the base into the net basket and got back to fishing mode. My phone buzzed. Probably one of the fishing team inquiring about the catch. But when I pulled it out, all I saw was a message. "Luciana Benya, don't forget to water my hydrangeas and bring the succulents inside. Don't let them get too much sun. I still need them for the wedding room." I froze for a second, then tapped over to verify the date. By the timeline, her trip should have finished a week ago, which meant, after more than a month, she still didn't realize I had moved out. She didn't even know I had quit the company. I didn't reply. Just put the phone back in my pocket and kept my eyes on the ocean. 5 minutes later, when I still didn't react, she sent another message, like she was tossing me a bone. "Thanks for holding down the fort. Turns out I have to remain a couple additional days. Once I'm back, you pick a day for the marriage certificate. Love you, what a farce." Every time she mentioned marriage, she'd tag on a "I love you," like some spell that had never failed her before. I still didn't reply, just put the phone away again and resumed fishing. Before I knew it, more than 2 weeks had passed. That made it nearly 2 months now. I was still at the lake when another notification flashed up disrupting the peace. "Just landed. Come pick me up." I could practically hear Luciana's entitled tone merely from reading the message. I rolled my eyes and genuinely chuckled. Yeah, when individuals are too astonished to speak, they truly do laugh. Ridiculous. Ruining my fishing mood, I instantly erased her from my contacts. I believed that would be the end of it. But then Bruno called me. Straight up voice call. I declined. He called again. I declined again and blocked him. 2 seconds later, another call came through. New number. All right, fine. I blocked that too. And while I was at it, I blocked Luciana's number as well. Just when I finally let out a relieved sigh, my phone flashed a notification from the spam filter. One blocked message. Out of habit, I tapped in. It came from Luciana's number. "Wow, Benjamin playing all harsh. Now, if you've got guts, don't ever come back." I busted out laughing. Go back to what cleaning that dusty place. No one had lived there in 2 months. It was undoubtedly loaded with grime. After all that, my mood improved quickly. Even my fish net was full again. It was another envy-inducing day among the fishing crew. Around noon, the sun got harsh, so a handful of us agreed to hit a local farm-style restaurant for lunch. As I packed up my things and was about to get in the car, my phone lit up with a call from a capital city number. I figured it was HR again. They'd called me a few times after I resigned, but I'd graciously declined. Eventually, the firm owner had recommended outsourcing some tasks, needed my aid with some IT concerns. I didn't mind the side gigs, so I answered instinctively. But instead of HR, a trembling voice got through. Luciana's voice, on the edge of tears. "Benja, where are you? Why did you leave? Didn't you say you'd stay with me forever?" Chapter 4. I was dumbfounded for a moment, totally let my guard down. The boss from the capital sometimes used other numbers to reach me, and I didn't even think twice this time. "Benja, you resigned your job. You even moved all your belongings out of the house. Where are you now?" Her voice was rushed. Was she actually anxious? Unbelievable. Looking back, I'd handed off all my work properly, no loose ends. Over the past 2 months, no one from the company has approached me for anything. So this wasn't about work. She was panicking because I left. As soon as that notion crossed my mind, I disregarded it outright. Impossible. "Ben, what are you drinking?" "Old shoe, and the lads are going for some baijiu this afternoon. After that, let's try our luck at the pay-to-fish pond." "Herbal tea," I remarked casually to my fishing companion. Luciana's voice returned through the phone. "A pay pond. You're fishing. Where, that reservoir or another one? Yeah, that one, I answered faintly. Luciana's tone suddenly softened. Then I'll come pick you up. Let's talk correctly. Tseek. The fish in my bucket were still flopping with energy. I was trying to get a white bus to give over for cleaning, but the fish were very feisty today, and with one hand on the phone, I started to feel seriously annoyed. Silence came from the other end of the line. Then, abruptly, Luciana burst out, half angry, half hurt. Benjamin, what the hell are you so annoyed about? I'm truly trying to care about you, and this is how you act. I told you fully before I left. I'd marry you when I got back. Then you disappeared. I didn't even get to ask you what happened, and now you're the one giving me attitude. With this type of attitude, simply ignore the proposal. I'm not marrying you. I was done. She had to be crazy, right? I'd already cleared out the place, cleaned it up before I went. She should have been thrilled. I moved out, resigned the job when returned to my hometown. She could finally be with Bruno openly and proudly. I was trying to wrestle a fish out of the tank, with one hand clutching the phone with the other, while listening to Luciana go out on a full-blown rant in my ear. Suddenly, a loud smash came over the phone, metal clanging, glass breaking. It made my ear sting. Shh. Yes, sure, I hear you. I'm busy. Hanging up now. I was officially out of patience. Whatever storm Luciana was throwing, I didn't care anymore. I ended the phone mid-scream. I could still hear her screamed in shock as I cut the call. Benjamin, what did you say? Say that again. Ben. Click. Silence. Peace at last. I finished lunch with the boys. Then we switched to a different pond for the afternoon session. By the time I arrived home, it was 9:30 at night. I ordered fried chicken grilled skewers and beer for delivery, sorted up the day's catch planning to bring some over to my folks tomorrow. Then my phone rang. I figured it was the delivery person. Damn, that was fast. But the second I answered, I was hit with Bruno's annoying voice practically yelling into the mic at me like a lunatic. Benjamin, are you even human? What type of boyfriend are you? You made Lulu cry. Do you even comprehend that you lied to her about fishing and she went hunting for you everywhere, searched every area you usually go to? She almost fell into the pond. If I hadn't been there, she could have been in real danger. Oh, we're calling her Lulu now. No more long names, huh? 2 months of travel and the sentiments truly grew, didn't they? Give it another month and I'll probably be getting a wedding invitation in the mail. But honestly, I couldn't even be mad. I just found it hilarious. And I laughed, actually laughed. Luciana went looking for me. She fell into the sea trying to find me. I understood every word Bruno said, but strung together, it made absolutely no sense. I chuckled and asked sarcastically. She went hunting for me. Come on, Bruno. Don't make things up. You expect me to believe that Chapter 5, I'd lost count of how many times Luciana had stood me up. It was like the boy who cried wolf over and over again. She took the phone away and snapped, Benjamin, I looked everywhere for you, and now you're accusing me. I let out another irritated tisk. There you go again with that sound. Just how sick of me are you? I took a deep breath and asked quietly, as it was the most obvious thing in the universe. Our 10-year anniversary, you said we'd watch the sunrise by the sea, but you went to a hot spring with Bruno instead. When I called, you said maybe next time. Valentine's Day, you promised dinner. I waited till the restaurant closed, and you were still watching a movie with Bruno. The holiday weekend, you mentioned we'd tour the ancient town together, but you went to help Bruno move. My birthday, you said you'd cook longevity noodles for me, but Bruno got a fever, and you spent the whole night taking care of him at the hospital. Luciana, you're actually telling me you come looking for me. Come on. Don't feed me the same old lies. It's getting stale. Even if you told me you were hospitalized, I wouldn't believe it. Why would you need me when you have Bruno? I told it all quite calmly. There was nothing on the other end of the call, just quiet. In the past, thinking of these things would have made my eyes sting and my nose burn. Now I felt nothing, like I was reciting a scene from some dreadful, overblown drama. After a long moment, she gave out a frigid laugh. So this is what it's about. You're tossing all this old garbage at me now, doing some emotional push and pull, like in those cringy romance novels trying to attract my attention. Well, congrats. It works. But let's be real, this is only because you're envious. Bruno came with me on the work trip, isn't it? He's my helper. It's literally his responsibility to come with me. How many times have I said this to you, but you never believe me? You'd rather live in your delusions making outlandish charges. Do you even understand human language? I pinched the bridge of my nose, fed up. Who doesn't understand human language here? I thought adults didn't need to spell things out. I moved out and resigned my job. Isn't that clear enough? So let's make it official, Luciana. We're done. Please stop bothering me. A proper ex should act like they're dead. With that, I hung up, then blocked her number. The next day, just as I stepped into the company, Lisa from HR rapidly made her way near me. A few coworkers close glanced at me with sympathy in their eyes. Lisa was the daughter of the boss and also managed HR problems. She seemed like she wanted to say something, but hesitated. After a little pause, she finally said, "Benya, are you in the middle of some arbitration with your prior job?" I was startled. Arbitration? That's crazy. Seeing the perplexity on my face, Lisa sighed and glanced toward the office before explaining, "Benja, your prior company." Sigh. You didn't pass your probation period. The rationale given, you're not suitable for the post. I turned to peek into the office. Through the glass pane, I recognized a familiar figure, Luciana. Instantly, a rush of wrath rose in my chest. I was just about to fulfill my probation, and now she'd sabotaged it. Got it, I stated flatly. I'll pack my things. I returned to my desk and began packing. Behind me, Lisa and a few coworkers observed with remorse in their eyes. Such a shame. Benja's been fantastic. With him around, there's no bug we couldn't fix. Yeah, he even helped me build my computer from scratch. Halfway through packing, Luciana and Bruno sauntered out of the office like they were on a casual date. Boss Wang caught sight of them and walked over, his face solemn, but his eyes remained full of regret. "Benja, I'm sure HR has notified you. You're being let go. Apparently, you're not a good match for the role. Your probation salary will be paid out in full." Luciana, dressed in excellent workplace clothing, gave a contented nod and a small smile. "President Wang, you did the right thing listening to me. Benjamin lacks the skill. Keeping him here would simply hold back your company's progress." Bruno chimed in like a trained parrot. "Exactly, President Wang. Partnering with us was absolutely a great move." My face turned chilly wrath blazing. I turned to Luciana and questioned simply, "Luciana, what the heck is this supposed to signify?" Luciana looked smug, arching her brow with a victory grin. "Benjamin, you thought you could just resign and sneak off to work here. You think I wouldn't find you. My plea is simple. Come home with me. Stop this insanity. Otherwise, I'll blacklist you in the industry. You won't be able to get a job anywhere." The look on her face screamed entitlement, like she already owned the outcome. That only stirred my defiance, and suddenly I remembered something. Blacklist me. That reminded me of the employment offer I'd had recently. I hadn't done anything wrong, yet the firm had suddenly gone cold. Wouldn't surprise me if they were just doing Luciana a favor. I let out a frigid laugh and stated slowly, "Luciana, we broke up over 2 months ago. Don't you ever get fatigued." Then I looked to Bruno. "And you." "Bruno, 2 whole months of business trips with Luciana, and she still hasn't made it official with you. It's been over a year now. I even gave up my place for you, and you still haven't moved forward. Maybe the problem is that you just don't have what it takes." Chapter 6. Luciana quickly lost it. She raised her hand to slap me. I took a step back, dodging it effortlessly. Then I scooped up my luggage, turned around, and went away. Couldn't be bothered to waste another word on her. The folks around us gazed wide-eyed, and soon they were murmuring and pointing at Luciana and Bruno. In the 2 months I'd been here, I'd formed wonderful relationships with my coworkers. After hearing what I said, they were all softly saying, "Damn. So that's the ex he was with for 10 years. Whoa, so she cheated." No surprise, he never explained much, but said it was a amicable breakup. I knew it. Poor Benja absolutely got played. After leaving the office, I placed my items onto my tiny electric scooter and was just about to start it up when my phone rang again. I was ready to decline it without thinking. But when I saw the caller ID, Diana Mu from Volcano Electronics and Information, I instantly answered. After a short conversation, Chairwoman Mu asked Benjamin, "I absolutely believe in your potential. Are you sure you're not coming to work for us?" I gave a sour laugh. "Chairwoman Mu, it's not about what I want anymore. Looks like I'm getting blacklisted in the industry." "Blacklisted by who?" "Your ex-boss, Luciana, yeah." Why Diana sounded really confused. She'd already done a deep dive on me numerous times. If I had made a major professional misstep deserving of blacklisting, there was no way she wouldn't know. I don't really know. She just showed up at my present company today, and I got fired. Guess she just doesn't like me. Diana went. Quiet for a second, then asked, I wasn't planning to ask anything personal, but now I have to. Did this happen because you broke up with Luciana? I was a little astonished. How could she know about that? Don't worry, she added casually. I work in internet tech. Big data sees everything. Our company is considerably stronger than Luciana's anyway. She doesn't have any sway here. So you coming or not, turns out, I gambled right. Diana sent along the offer on the spot. I rushed home, packed my things, and booked the first ticket back to the capital. By that afternoon, I was at Diana's company. Paperwork signed, onboarding done. I joined directly as a senior engineer, and once this current project closed up smoothly, I'd be promoted to expert engineer. And as chance would have it, this project was the same side gig I'd been freelancing on. The next morning, I joined the crew for our first group session. Before I arrived, Diana had already introduced me to the rest of the gang. After the morning meeting, my comrades instantly rushed me with greetings. No way, the legend himself, Chairwoman Moo, finally poached you, huh, bro? I go by Falcon Online. We've now met in person. The team was really friendly, and the energy here absolutely threw me off surprise. Thinking back to what I went through before, and looking at what I have today, damn, I'd been living like junk. That afternoon, Diana called me to her office. Luciana had shown up. As I stepped in, I saw the mood was already tense, like a standoff. I couldn't help but feel a little perplexed. Sure, it wasn't uncommon for the two of them to know each other, but for them to freely drop all pretenses only because Diana hired me, that seemed extreme. Diana stared up at me, then turned to Luciana with piercing sarcasm. Took me months to recruit him, Luciana. You showing up now to poach him? Forget it. I'm not spending my breath debating, but if you trash my workplace, I'll mail you the bill. She rose up and left the office to me and Luciana. As she passed past, she leaned down little and whispered, Benjamin, let me tell you something. Luciana and our grudge goes way back all the way to childhood. As for you, I sincerely believe in your skills. I gave a little nod, letting her know I understood. Inside the office, there was just Luciana and me. She bit her lip, visibly annoyed. Benjamin, what exactly do you want? Can you quit creating a scene immediately? When did you and Diana get this close? My face stayed frigid as ever. I let out a scoff. People aim higher. I wanted a better job and a better salary, so I switched businesses. Isn't that clear? Besides, didn't I clear the way for you and Bruno? That was the point, right? Luciana tightened her fists, clearly frustrated. She let out a sigh, her voice softening like she was giving up. Fine, I got it. I know what you desire. I'll minimize interaction with Bruno. No, with Assistant Wu. I'll even shift him to a different department. Just quit making a fuss and come home with me. I stepped closer, pulled out my phone, tapped a couple times, then moved the screen toward her. It showed Bruno's social media stream. So many nice memories. You truly ready to let all this go? Luciana peered at the screen. Instantly, her face turned pale. Her eyes shot away, visibly guilty. I scrolled down. Look, can't even get to the bottom of the feed. She murmured beneath her breath. I told Bruno to block you from seeing those. Then she swiftly sought to explain in a much kinder tone. I know, you've been wronged lately. How about this? Come home with me and I'll make everything right. I'll publicize our relationship officially at the workplace. Promotion raise, I'll give it all to you. How does Vice President sound? I lifted an eyebrow, giving her a slow, thoughtful look. Here every coworker sees my skills. Every superior sees my value. Luciana, do you have any idea how long Chairwoman Moo's been trying to recruit me? 8 months. Even after I refused her many times, she continued offered me freelancing employment. I questioned her once. Was it really worth it? She answered, you have the ability, so you're worth it. You gave me empty promises for 10 years, and I got nothing. But Chairwoman Moo offered me real benefits after just 8 months. If Bruno had even half my ability, you wouldn't be here right now. Luciana blurted out without a moment's hesitation. No, I would still be here. We've been together for 10 years. I love you. Look, I'll fire Bruno right now. I swear I'll cut all links with him. Let's go register our marriage today. I even have our IDs and household book with me. She grasped my arm, hard words coming out in a rush. All I felt was contempt. I pried her hand off and said slowly and clearly, Is it love, or is it simply habit? Do you even recognize the difference? You're just missing someone to do things for you, someone to take care of you. A butler, a caretaker, not a partner. Bruno's nothing. There'll be plenty of other males for you to screw about with. Cheating doesn't just happen once, it happens endlessly. Luciana, you never loved me. Her face got deadly pale. Her lips quiver, but she couldn't get out a full sentence. Benjamin, it's not like that. Please believe me. Nothing transpired between me and him. I stepped back, shook my head. You still think whether you slept together matters. The only thing that matters is this. We split up. We have no relationship anymore. And if you really need to call it something, then we're rivals now. And Luciana, I sincerely hope you get the chance to fight head-to-head with us eventually. Tears flowed slowly down Luciana's cheeks as she peered at me in surprise. Without more word, I turned and walked out of the office, leaving her there to mourn alone. In the break room, Diana was smoking near the window. She offered me a cigarette and asked, watching her cry like that. Pretty nice, huh? But all that aside, Benjamin, I want you to stay focused. Don't let personal concerns get in the way of your work effectiveness. Chairwoman Moo, do I look like a man who hasn't moved on? If there's no love, no emotional traps. If there's no feelings, there's no leverage. So what do you say? Will this nobody be a CEO a year from now? Absolutely. Sunlight flooded through the break room windows, spreading dazzling bright light throughout the space. Warm and kind, not blinding. From now on, every day of my life would be just like this. Brilliant and full of brightness.